Publicize is looking to change the way startups approach PR, and we're looking to disrupt the PR industry. Traditionally in Silicon Valley in New York, startups paid about $10,000 a month for PR firms, and there are hundreds of new companies started around the world who can't afford those prices. So the idea we had was, as opposed to charging $10,000, we would charge $400 and make it month to month, so to really minimize risk for startups. So I think the PR industry does work really well for more established companies, but the model doesn't necessarily work for the company that has raised $30,000 and is just looking to to get going right now. I was introduced to it actually on the other end because I'd written in New York for a tech site called VentureBeat, and I saw the challenges a lot of my friends had. I think they look at PR as this black box. So yeah, one of the things we try to do is make it really transparent. I think at a very kind of first level, most people don't even know what story to reach out to journalists for example, a launch, for example, a funding announcement. So they're kind of a whole host of areas. A big help it had with Publicize is because I didn't start Publicize coming from a PR background, so I didn't have this assumption that, hey, I have to charge $10,000 or $15,000 a month, but rather I could look at it from a fresh perspective, almost from a journalist background. So actually all Publicize's team essentially have backgrounds in journalism, because I find that they're actually the best people to approach the media because they have this level of empathy that I think a lot of people in PR don't. I think if you're used to getting hundreds of emails with really kind of pitches that aren't that great, it allows you to kind of, whether you know it or not, you know a lot about how you can best approach the media. I think the first is that if somebody is looking to be featured on whether it's Tech.co or whether it's Business Insider, just the importance of actually reaching out an email to them. I think people underestimate not only how often journalists check their emails, but also even a tip set. I remember at VentureBeat, a ton of our stories every day were the ones sent to tips@venturebeat.com. And usually when somebody asks me, why hasn't a Tech.co or Business Insider covered me, the very first thing I would ask is, well, have you actually written them your pitch? Because if you haven't written them, there's a very small chance they're going to cover you. We don't have a particular partnership with Y Combinator. We have talked to some accelerators about partnerships. We work with a little over a dozen Y Combinators, from Statwing to Talkable to Ylos to Bop.fm, just a bunch of them. I think one of the things that's been great about Publicize isn't just working with really neat Y Combinator companies, but just that you see a lot of incredible companies almost before they've made it. Like a lot of the companies we see haven't raised funding yet, but they're such promising founders and it's such an ambitious idea that it's neat to see them right at the very beginning. A good example is just the company I mentioned, Bop.fm. When we started them, they were essentially just in Y Combinator. I think we helped them on a few sites like TechCrunch and Business Insider. A few months ago, they raised over $2 million in funding, and they're really taking off right now. So yeah, that's an example.